Maurice Nicoll, Psychological Commentaries, Volume 3, based on Nicoll's work with Gurdjieff, Ouspensky, and Carl Jung. Great Amwell House, February 21st, 1948, Commentary on Time. Work ideas. This is part one, or the first video of two. Number one, work idea to consider sinners work at different speed. And number two, on one occasion, Ouspensky asked Gurdjieff, "What is time?" Gurdjieff replied, "Time is breath." Well, the commentary is this, part one. This commentary is based on some ideas about time in the work. We will begin with the question of speed in different centers. The centers in man do not work at the same speed. What can be understood by the term speed of centers? Take this example. If you were to think how to move while running downstairs, you would probably fall. Why? Because your thinking would be slower than your movement. Again, if you have to think how to drive your car, you will probably have an accident. Why? Because when you know how to drive your car, you scarcely think how to drive it. What then takes charge of when you run downstairs or drive a car? The moving center. Its mind is working. The speed of this center outstrips the speed of our ordinary thinking, and by this I mean our formatory center, which is one part of the intellectual center, the slowest part. I'm not speaking of emotional thinking, for example, which is far quicker and is comparable to what people call intuition. Now, we understand that a slow person takes in things slowly and a quick person quickly. The slow person takes in things one at a time. The quicker person takes in two things together. The latter can see connections between things that the slower person does not see. Some people like to say one thing at a time and think it is a good sound maxim. They like to get one thing finished first before they go on to the next. Having, say, deployed their troops laboriously on the right flank, they are astonished to find that the enemy has been amassing guns opposite them all the while. They cannot think in terms of second or opposing force, but only in terms of what they wish to do. Now, what is quicker means what is more comprehensive. We all perhaps have had flashes of another consciousness in which we saw many things all together. We can be sure that this is due to the working of some part of a center that has a higher rate of speed and sees all together. Now, when a center is working whose speed is great, we experience a paradox of everything going on very slowly and also of everything going on in a flash. Sometimes our lives appear in this double way, in which I would say they always do. When, for example, we are in a car accident, we may become conscious in this moving center. The center works 30,000 times more quickly than does the ordinary part of the intellectual center that we use. We then see everything as if it was in slow motion. Why? Because we are taking in far more impressions. The rate of perception when we are momentarily conscious in moving center is enormously increased in the ratio of 1 to 30,000, ideally speaking, or at least something similar. You know, if you take a cinema film of a jumping horse race and expose, say, only 6 pictures a second on the screen, the horses will likely go like lightning and violently. The normal rate is, say, 24. Now, if you expose, say, 40 pictures a second on the screen, the horses seem to sail over jumps without effort. without violence. In fact, you will get the impression that they are not doing anything, but that the medium that they are in is doing it, as if formed by vacuums and pressures that drew them up or pushed them down. Now, when we become momentarily conscious in a center or a part of one that works at a higher rate of speed, we see things in slow motion. We take more photographs per second. It may seem endless time before our car hits the other car, and yet it may seem all over in a flash. Yet to our ordinary sinners, it all took half a second. But to a sinner working at a higher speed, that half second became expanded enormously, and so it seemed a long time before the crash came. This double experience of time has always interested me. Let us now take the emotional center. This center can see many things all together as if it really is working, and can draw so much together and connect it with a whole that seems like clairvoyance. But since the emotional center is drenched with negative emotions and personal self-emotions, it rarely can perform its proper task and usually only makes us ill. If you can grasp that a higher speed of working of a center means expanded time, and a lower speed of working means contracted time, it may help you to realize that our experience of time is relative to your state. You can, for instance, imagine a vast musical composition contracted down for small, poor orchestras, and then expanded to its fullness when all its inner octaves and variations and subtleties are heard. So are our lives in small parts of centers. There are many recorded experiences going far back in literature of people experiencing a change of time in the sense of expanded time. For example, they have believed that they have been in some place or some other level of life for days or years, and yet, falling down into the ordinary time rate, have found it only a few seconds. Each second of our time contains many other scales of time. The higher centers in man work at enormous rates compared with the formatory center, which works most slowly of all centers and parts of centers in man. Seen from higher centers, the whole of one's life can be a moment. Yes, but also paradoxically, each moment of your life can become a life.